We are live here on Discord and on YouTube. Might as well kill two birds with one stone. I wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about the project we just did an AMA with. I have some thoughts that I wanted to share after doing that AMA. We also had another AMA yesterday that went pretty good. I'll share both those links after this chat in the Discord. A lot of stuff going on around the crypto community. We're going to get right into it. I want to talk, of course, about Bitcoin because that's what moves the market. I also want to talk about altcoins. I was asked some questions about how to find information regarding new layer ones and infrastructure like DEXs, NFT projects being built out on those platforms. So I'm going to address that and show you that today. Also, I got a little bit of an airdrop stuff, but this is mainly focused on what's going on in the crypto market as well as my strategy. I'm not sharing my screen yet, so give me a second. There you go. Let's get into it. So, all right. So right now you are getting mainstream media talking about Bitcoin nonstop. And this is great for the crypto market in general, right? Obviously all this attention is being generated towards one group of people and the ETFs. I want to talk about the ETFs for a second. Right now, there's billions and billions and billions of dollars flowing into these Bitcoin ETFs. And most of these ETFs aren't open to the full public yet. They're open to very wealthy individuals. So can you imagine what happens when everybody can really start buying each one of these ETF products, as well as they're going to make more products on top of these products? There's just going to be a lot of value that's going to flow into the market. We're also going to talk about the UK had some new data come out where they either they're coming out of recession or they've been in one for the past several months. I have a little bit of information later on the chat. We're also going to talk about the economy a bit and just some overall crypto news. I did get some information from a credible source that I can tell you that this person is in a chat that they know that one of the AVAX tokens, remember we went over this news about AVAX wanting to buy community coins? Well, I have probably one of the tokens that they're going to put some money into. So we're going to talk about that here too, as well as some other stuff that was shared to me inside of Cryptonairz. So let's go ahead and get into this. We'll do the Bitcoin stuff first, and we'll talk about institutions, and then we'll get into the rest of this. So let's play this.
I'm anticipating that by the time we get to the end of 2025, we're talking 2 years, we're going to see total inflows of more than $150 billion. We're only at 5 right now.
And what is going to propel? That's a big claim. That's a big number. What's going to propel that?
It really isn't all that big when you do the simple arithmetic. Individual investment advisors, independents, those that are operating their own firms, collectively manage around $8 trillion in assets, and 3/4 of them in every industry survey done by DAC-FP as well as by Bitwise all show that 3/4 of advisors say that they're going to allocate to these ETFs and that their average allocation is going to be about 2.5% of assets. Do the arithmetic. $8 trillion times 77% times 2.5% is $150 billion worth of flows. And that's just independent advisors. It excludes the wirehouses, it excludes the regional broker-dealers, it excludes the institutional investors.
Well, we're basically all going to be very rich soon, all right? That's what basically this guy's saying. So Edward asks, why is... I'm good, Edward. Thanks for asking, man. Edward asks, why is everyone in love with Bitcoin? It doesn't have a purpose like XRP. Anyone please explain this? Well, I mean, it's the first mover, right? When you have a first mover advantage, you also have pretty much all of the OG people that have been in Bitcoin for a long time. They're cheering on their bags too, right? It was the first one to get an ETF approval. Obviously, there's going to be other ETFs, but when you have the shiny thing that's out in front and everybody's pointing at this thing, that is why you have so much attention on it. Obviously, there are other assets, and we're going to talk about some XRP news here too later on in this chat that you know, really when you look at the top 50 coins, you know, there's certain things that you have to have if you're going to be doing massive amounts of payments globally for banks, right? KYC, AML are two big things. Sanctions checks. There's not a lot of assets that are able to do all of these things, and that's kind of baked into the XRP ledger. But let's get through this other news, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Miles put this out. Retail isn't even in Bitcoin yet. Still pushing towards all-time highs. This run is being fueled by institutional money. YouTube views strongest retail indicator are actually lower than were in 2022 bear market. So, guys, retail, the average retail crypto investor has not even come back to the market yet. This is all being driven by some select few of people that have gobs and gobs amount of money that want to invest institutionally through Bitcoin. Okay, we are not even at the FOMO period yet. Okay, retail is still trying to get back. I just thought this was interesting. Michael Saylor's Bitcoin portfolio is worth $10 billion. The guy understood that if he invested enough money into Bitcoin at these lower prices, that he'd eventually make some money. And I mean, he's absolutely right. I did think this was really weird. Elizabeth Warren signs a certificate to honor Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto. Did this actually happen? I mean, here's the signed certificate to honor. I don't know. Is this like a psyop thing for what's it called? I don't know. This is. I find this incredibly weird. I part of me doesn't think this has happened, but I don't know. This is floating around all over Twitter. I don't know if somebody has the answer, but this is what happened after each golden break. Are you bullish enough? So this is the trajectory, right? This is where we are now. Okay, we have a long way to go here, my friends. There's a lot more buying. There's a lot more profit. We are really still at the start of this whole thing, and Bitcoin's kind of doing its thing, right? Obviously, we know that the psychological set is that people are going to invest money into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to top. People are going to take that money, invest it into Ethereum. Ethereum's going to top. It'll go into layer 2s. It'll go into altcoins. That is really what we're looking for, right? Personally, great. Bitcoin will do, a 2x, a 3x. I'm really not here for that. I'm here to chase those 50 or 100x. Yes, they're higher risk. Yes, I'll probably lose money on some of the projects, but the majority of projects that I'm invested in, I will do pretty well. Okay. And so this is days from golden break to cycle top. As you can see, 300, what did I say? He has no experience working with world leaders on any way, shape, or form. He's never been a politician. He's using the name, the Kennedys, John F. Kennedy, JFK. He was shot way back when. I wasn't alive then, so I don't really know the full history. But this is the way he's going to get votes. He's probably going to get votes from both sides. We'll have to see how this all turns out. But it's going to be an interesting election, to say the least. We're witnessing total acceleration of Bitcoin ETF inflows. First 20 days of trading, 42,000 Bitcoin inflows. Last 4 days, 43,000 inflows, right? It's getting insane, right? And this is only going to get bigger because the retail is finally going to be able to buy these ETFs. Like I said, it's very select few people that are allowed this. Usually it's people that have a certain amount of millions of dollars in their brokerage accounts. This is high net worth individuals that have been pushing this, right? When you're going to get everybody in it, that's really where it's really going to go. I thought this was fun. This is transferring gold versus transferring Bitcoin. I like this. We need to put a team together and hit these trucks. Just kidding. But seriously though, this is the old way of doing stuff, right? This is the new way people like. So I just thought that was fun. This is absolutely mad. Since the start of the year, over $3 billion worth of gold ETFs have been dumped. The obvious rotation is into Bitcoin. So you actually have people dumping gold and possibly buying Bitcoin. I mean, if you look at gold's kind of history, it's a very safe asset. I don't think gold is ever going to go to zero. Obviously things like asteroid mining and things like that of the future, you're going to be able to find more gold out in the universe. There's more gold being found on this planet, but I just thought this is, people are chasing. They think Bitcoin's going to six figures. I do think you're going to see $100,000 Bitcoin in this cycle. Money is flowing. BlackRock is fast approaching $5 billion in AUM for their iBit spot Bitcoin ETF. The first $5 billion in assets received discounted fees. There's $600 million left before the cap is reached, right? So they said something, what was this? Commencing January 11th, right? So it's been a month and a week, and they're already reaching their cap, which is insane, which is really crazy. And then Ted Microtalk says, we're going higher. Retail interest in crypto is still at depths of the bear market, right? So retail is not here yet, guys. So, I've seen some comments like, why aren't things pumping a little bit harder? I mean, if you take a look at the last 90 days in crypto, I mean, I can't even count how many projects that we've shared in Cryptonairz that have gone up like 100 or 200%. It's literally insane. I sometimes I try to spend time and going through and adding things to the list, it really is insane how much information is shared in the community. And I really wanted to thank the hundreds of community members that share information daily in that community. You know, when you have hundreds of people working on researching crypto, you find gold, right? Sometimes you find turds, but a lot of the times we find gold, and we find it early. And I just really appreciate everybody's hustle and all of the work that the community members put in inside of Cryptonairz. BlackRock Bitcoin facts: total Bitcoin 109,000, average daily buy 4.5 thousand, standard deviation is about 2.5 Bitcoin. Largest daily flow was around 10,000 Bitcoin, which was on 2/3/24, which is just 3 days ago. Days with outflows 0, right? So this is a trend. We should be paying attention to this trend, guys. All right. Peter Schiff was, this was somebody that said Bitcoin would never reach 50,000. So Pump wanted to, talk with this guy. I just thought this was an entertaining clip. I'm going to play this and answer some questions on YouTube.
Do you think Larry Fink is dumb?
No.
Okay. Well, Larry Fink, he thinks that this is a flight to quality, people buying Bitcoin. And he thinks that Bitcoin is an asset that has unique properties that make it incredibly attractive for every investor in the world to hold.
Well, I don't think that's the case. I don't think Bitcoin has unique properties, because I think there are plenty of other cryptocurrencies that have similar properties. I don't think it's a flight to quality in Bitcoin. I think it's a trade. I think it's a gamble. Now, in some people's mind, I have no doubt that you think it's quality. In your mind, when you're buying Bitcoin, you're buying what you believe to be quality. You think it's a hard asset. I mean, I don't think there's anything hard about it, but you believe that. And there are a number of people who also believe that. I don't deny that. But just because people believe a lie doesn't mean it's true. It just means that you believe it. But the question is, how much longer will you maintain this belief? Because eventually people are going to stop believing, right? All little kids believe.
Well, they are. No, you're
Santa
right.
Claus. They believe in the Tooth Fairy. They believe in the Easter Bunny, but they don't believe in these things forever.
Are you worried? This is a great point. You're a very smart man. This is a great point. Are you worried about the younger generation having stopped believing in gold and they're buying Bitcoin instead, and they're diverting what would have been capital flows into gold now going into Bitcoin?
No, not really. I mean, gold doesn't need people to believe in it. Gold is gold, whether you believe in it or not. The young people who are buying Bitcoin, I think that the vast majority of them, if there was no Bitcoin, they would not be buying gold. I mean, on the margin, some of them, like the libertarians or the anarcho-capitalists, but I don't think those are the majority of the Bitcoin buyers in the 20-somethings or the teens, whoever's buying it. I think that people who are buying Bitcoin instead of, some other tech stocks that they might have bought, or maybe they're using money that they would have spent on gambling on sports or lottery tickets, or maybe they're just, putting money in there that they would have spent. Maybe they would have bought a nicer car or rented a nicer apartment, but instead they're putting some money in Bitcoin because they think they're going to get rich. I don't think it's taking that much of the demand away from gold, because I think most of the demand for gold outside of industry and jewelry is coming from central banks and more sophisticated, larger
buyers. Yeah, I mean, it is a generational thing, right? I think a lot of young people are kind of fed up with how governments print money, how they just create this value overnight, and everything really kind of goes down. Our buying power goes down. The system is really broken, right? And this is why we believe in stuff like XRP and XLM. We think that this new system, whenever this old system collapses, that the new system will be made and crypto will be used on a massive scale. Crypto will be used on a massive scale, for a house of different reasons, right? Tokenization of assets is a big one, right? Where you can actually take a company, a business, a property, you can tokenize that, you can sell shares of that. That is really a really unique use case that you're not going to be able to do without crypto. Payments, right? Being able to send value at the speed of light for a very low cost. That opens up the entire world, right? To be able to send money to each other, right? That is really the future. And that is what we believe in, being in crypto, is we believe in this future. And every piece of information that kind of comes out, we look at it, We put it together. We make our our guesses, our assumptions on what we think is going to have value in the future, and that's what makes this market great. That's really what makes this market unique. I don't invest in the stock market, and maybe that's my bad. Great, the stock market's at an all-time high. I just of course there's a few stocks that Nvidia and things like that have just gone up insane amounts, but I can do the same thing there in crypto. I can have fun doing it, and I can be a part of an ecosystem, right? When you're buying shares of a company, right, you're not really part of that community or that ecosystem. You just own shares. But when you're buying a piece of a crypto project, you actually own a piece of that project, and that's really what's powerful, right? Retail activity on Coinbase stayed low in quarter 4 2023, largest quarterly retail volume since quarter 2 2022, but still below quarter 4 2020, and a meager 16% of quarter 4 in 2021 peak, right? So this is where we were when true FOMO was happening, right? This was an insane year, right? This was a lot of amazing projects came out, a lot of value was made, a lot of money was made, and we're going to get back to here, but we're only here, guys. So there's a lot of room for improvement, right? 29 billion quarter 4 2023 opposed to 177 billion at the height of the last market. Okay, so we're talking, just to get to where this was, Coinbase's value, trading value, volume on the what is this, like a 5 to 6x from where we are right now, right? We're not even close. So strap in, get ready. You should have picked your winners already, and you should be in these projects. And obviously, you need to have a strategy when you're getting into any crypto assets. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you from experience the things that I've learned. I hope to share those things with you and hope that you don't make the same mistakes that I made back in 2021 and early 2022. All right. I plan to sell 80 to 90% of my crypto bags at the height of the market, right? We probably will have a very good guess of where this is because we do so much research on the market, and we have these chats twice a week, and we're talking in Ultra Bull chat and in other trade channels in the Discord. But you want to be able to have that plan. There's some assets that I don't think that I will sell, like XRP is one of those assets that I have no idea when full adoption will happen, when CBDC adoption will happen, or when and if this current system will collapse, right? And I do think that if you look at the token that is mostly used by central banks, that is the token that I want to own regardless of what happens in the market. I know that if I hold this token over the next 5 to 10 years, chances are that this might turn into a lottery ticket for me, right? There's of course chances that it'll go to nothing, but I don't think on some assets. But obviously, there's a lot of altcoins that are going to just surge in value. But when people leave, you do not want to be holding the chair. You do not want to be sitting down and there's nothing to sit down on. Like you don't want to be falling back into nothing. So have a plan. Make sure that you rotate out of these tokens before the market goes back down. Because even if you think the cryptocurrency will be here in a few different years, right? This will be here for 10, 20 years, whatever you think. When retail leaves, that value will plummet, and even that will go back into a bear market, and that company will continue to build. Obviously, I don't think we're going to go back to levels seen, in early 2020 or even levels that we've seen in 2022. I think they'll be a little bit higher than, but we're still going to get into a bear market, and when we do, you need to be out. Okay. And just more data points, right? Showing that retail has not even come back yet, right? So we are very, very early still, guys. So a lot of people ask me, hey, are we early? Is there still time? There's still time, okay? We did an AMA with this GSI garage sale project, and part of crypto, I don't like. I'll be truthful in how all this went up. I had a few people like Rayon and Q&T look at this project, and they told me no. They said that this looks fishy. Don't even bring them in for an AMA. So I listened, and then I had some questions, and I was referred to the founder of Playable Games. The founder of Playable Games knows this gentleman, and I asked, hey, is this guy legitimate, right? Is this guy even real, right? Is this project legitimate? And he answered a few of my questions that made me feel confident enough to just bring them in and listen to what they had to say. I don't know if this project is going to have a future. in a few years. I have no way of knowing that for any crypto project. But I look at, what is my initial investment and how long will it take me to ROI? Okay. The token hasn't launched yet, and this has a node sale that just went live. Okay. There's not a ton of people buying these nodes. Okay. There's only been 552 sold. They're currently $300. They started at $100, and they will go up every 200 sold. Okay. My thing is, I am getting, and this is what I look at, 12,408 coins per day. Okay. I'd ask you to go listen to the AMA before you do anything. Don't just follow me blindly into something. Do your research, do your due diligence. I'm looking at ROI. Okay. And can I make money here? And with a bull market that's going to be in full effect, I'm going to take a risk, right? This is $1,500 that I put into it. I might throw another $1,500 into it, and buy like 10 nodes, right? But what I'll be able to do is, I found out that there's no vesting or lockup on any of this. I can claim it anytime and sell it anytime. So when the token launches, I'm going to claim and get my money back if the token price is that high. And if it takes me a few months, it takes me a few months. But I'm looking at, can I ROI, and is there a future in this use case? If they can deliver on the promises that they said in the AMA today, I think that it could do well. You have the biggest problem when it comes to some of these platforms, eBay and things like that, is the fees. And when you have a marketplace that you can list something on and be charged nothing to sell it on that platform, people are going to use that, right? And it all comes down to, right, the marketing. How are you going to get in front of people? They're going to launch in the US, the UK, and Australia's market. They've done some testing. I have no idea if this thing is going to take off or not, and nobody does, right? A lot of people didn't think Amazon was going to be built out of a garage and built into a multi-billion-dollar, if not trillion-dollar company that it is today. We just don't know, okay? But I'm looking at what is the risk versus what is the reward. And right now, I'm getting a shit ton of tokens per day by doing nothing. And we'll see what happens. In 3 months, if this thing, rugs or goes to nothing, I don't think it's going to rug, but it could go to nothing. I will say, you know what? I was wrong about that. But I do think in like 3 months after the token is launched, I do think there'll be a profit here, personally. I could be wrong, but I told you what I'm doing. That's my strategy. That's my mindset. I thought the guy answered the questions well today. He seemed very well prepared. He didn't stumble on anything. I've done hundreds of AMAs, and I've listened to shit projects. I've listened to good projects. I've listened to okay projects. And I thought that he came across well. He came across sincere. He came across genuine. And I'm taking a shot. Okay? Simple as that. There you go. If anyone wants to take a look at this, I will share this with you in the chat. I will share the AMA. His wife was the background with the stick. I think that, I think there could be something there. Okay? Let me just pull this really quickly for you, and I will share this recording with you. I would listen to this before you do anything. There's not a huge rush. It's not like they're selling hundreds of these a second, but the fewer that sell, the higher the rewards that I get, right? The more value that I get per day if nodes don't sell. So I'm okay with nodes not selling. I'm okay with that. As long as they deliver on their promises and they work through that stuff, I think that could be something valuable to me. So, crypto's about taking shots. I took a shot here. And, you can take a look. Here's their Twitter. I'll link this for you. Oh. But, I mean, we didn't know. Let's use playable games since we were talking about it, since they know each other. Let's use playable games as an instance, right? Playable games nodes were $300. They had nothing built. They had no game. They had no partnerships, really. They had just do you remember the early white paper for playable games? It was bad. And that was a shot that we took, right? That was an $8,000 initial investment in playable games. About 20 nodes. No, was it? Yeah, it was $8,000. It was about 20 nodes. I have since made, I don't know, I've made 60, 80 grand, maybe a little bit more over the last 2 years or a year and a half on playable games. And it still makes me $4 or $5,000 a month, right? That was me taking a shot. It's paid off. Gala Games was when I bought Gala nodes at $2,000. That was taking a shot, right? So, sometimes things work out very well and some things don't. But it's taking the shot, having the ability to look at the market and where we're going. And over the next 12 months, the market is going to be humming. Okay? So, I'm taking a shot. Anyways, I thought this was really cool. 15 rules you should follow in order to maximize in the bull run. I thought this was really, really good. Okay. Keeps things simple. As the market heats up, things can get overwhelming, more distractions, more opportunities, more noise. Don't lose focus. Pick a niche, stay in your lane, find an edge and stick with it. So what he's talking about here is he's talking about, you have crypto AI, you have gaming, you have DPIN, you have Gamblify, you have layer 1s, you have layer 2s. There's so much in crypto, right? Tokenization of real world assets. There's so many different lanes. And I have to know all of these lanes, but I spend literally 12 hours on a computer every day, usually Saturday and Sundays too. Okay. I'm on my computer constantly looking at all this information. Most people don't have that much free time. So this is really good advice to just pick an area of crypto that you think is going to do well. Find the projects in that ecosystem or in that niche that you think are going to do well and go hard, go in and focus on that. I think that's a really great advice. Accept the hype, fundamentals. This can be a tough pill to swallow, but the bull market, hype, and speculation are the strongest price drivers. Let's focus on the fundamentals and more understanding of market psychology. When you have a strong thesis, back it with conviction. Size up when the stars align. It says, play enough, you'll never change the stakes. The house takes you unless when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house, right? Ocean's 11. Great quote, okay? New coins are GUD coins. I don't know what GUD means. If somebody can break that down for me. Or is it supposed to be God coins? I don't know. The market loves gravitating towards the new shiny objects. This will often outperform the older predecessors. Most of the strongest gainers will be newly listed tokens, especially ones with a low float. So this is right. So you have tokens that have been around since the last bull market, right? But the harder part about that is there's really no new hype. There's really nothing new that's going on with some of those projects, right? So people go to where the hype is, right? Where the excitement is, right? They want to feel like they're getting in with somebody else, right? And this is really psychology of the market. It's a great way to kind of point that out. Don't let corrections shake you out, right? Some of this stuff corrects hard, right? 20, 30, 50% corrections, right? And some people panic sell. I've been there, right? And then a day later or 2 days later, the coin goes back up to where it previously was dipping from, and you've sold too early, right? So have a plan when you're going into any kind of crypto investment. How long do I plan to hold this? Is this a get in, get out type of situation? Is this a degen? Is this a new area of crypto that hasn't proven, right? Have a plan, right? Zoom out. Let people get too caught up on smaller time frames. This doesn't only apply to buying and selling, but also the time frame in which you evaluate a thesis idea. Don't let inconsequential price movements deter you. Add on dips, right? When you're on CoinMarketCap and you're looking at tokens, right? 24 hours. It's very hard to buy into something that's up already 20 or 40% for the week, right? Or the day. Find stuff that's in a dip a little bit, right? Optimism's down 6%. Maybe that's a good opportunity, right? Mina down 4%. These all could be better opportunities to get into if you think these assets are going to a higher value eventually. Okay? Don't buy the hype, right? Just understand the utility of the project, and when you're buying into these God green candles, there's somebody on the other side selling into you. So just be careful about what you're doing. Let's keep going. Along the leaders within the narrative, the first mover advantage is substantial. Oftentimes, sticking to the leader of a specific trend is a better R&R play than longer than the lower cap betas. Excuse me, lower cap beta plays. Lower your IQ. Don't laugh. It works. Evidence. Doge, SHIB, Pepe, etc. Try not to outsmart yourself. So, we don't know what is going to catch on. You can see that a project might not go anywhere, but they might have an all-star marketer come on that does things that you can't even comprehend and brings millions of people onto that platform or into that community, right? We just don't know what's going to happen. Don't outsmart yourself. Ladder out. Making money in a bull market is easy, but keeping it is difficult. Regulatory take profits and siphon them into a separate cold wallet. I'd rather give up a small percentage of potential gains than walk away empty-handed, right? So, when you're taking profits, are you just taking those profits to put them back into something else? Or are you putting money on the side for taxes? Don't laugh. Taxes are still something that we have to pay in crypto. I know it sucks. If you live in a place where you don't have any taxes, that's amazing. But for the most of us, we have taxes, right? Or we need to pay our bills, or we need to buy a house. Whatever the situation is, make sure that you're putting some money aside. Don't rotate. It's as tempting as it is, don't get stuck in the loop of rotating profits from one investment to another. This game of hot potato is all good and well until you drop it. It's better to make a percentage of your profits that go into stables versus back into the market. Don't short. Fighting the trend is a dangerous game in any trending market. In crypto, longing offers a better R&R, return on investment, ratio than unlimited profit potential with loss limited to the initial investment, right? I've seen people shorting the market that have lost 150, 200 grand, right? I have a good friend that built $1,000 into 160 grand, and then he lost all 160 grand because he shorted the market and went the wrong way. So be careful. Leave a moon bag. It is prudent to take profits for achieving massive gains, but in a bull market, oftentimes the subsequent gains dwarf your actual profits. Leaving a moon bag small position ensures that you retain some exposure in case things truly go parabolic. So what this is if you buy 1 million tokens of XYZ project, the project goes up substantially. Maybe you take your initial profit out plus some, right? Maybe there's a percentage that you have, and leave some in, because you never know what's going to happen to that project. It could go to zero, but you've already made your money back plus some, right? Have that plan in place. Refine your information sources. Now's the time to organize your Twitter list, Telegram, Discord, YouTube. The results you get only as good as the information that you put in, right? Where are you getting your information from, right? Are you just following some random person on YouTube or Twitter or whatever? Or is that person actually putting in the time to understanding the technology, posting valuable and good information, right? I can tell you that I am not 100% right on crypto projects, but I can tell you that I have a good track record of finding things early that do make me money in the long run, right? I've been able to quit working full time to just focus on crypto because I have been able to build a passive income stream with crypto. Can you say the same, right? Are you learning? Are you growing? Make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that are better than you, right? All of the time. I'm not thinking that I am the best. I am a constant student. I am always learning. I very rarely will ever turn somebody away that's going to try to teach me something. I will sit there and I will learn. Even if I've heard it before, maybe there's some value that I can get from that conversation, right? I'll give you an example. There's I'll tell you who it is. I was in a meeting with Jake Claver the other day we're talking about business. I can't really tell you the project that's involved with this, but I've had a few meetings with Jake Claver on a few different things. But every time I'm in a meeting, I'm listening to everything Jake says because I learn something from him every time. And I told him that. I said, man, you share incredible insight, right? And he knows things that I don't. So I'm always eager to listen and to learn and to grow. I hope you are too. Make hay while the sun shines. These conditions don't last forever. Those who are around in 2017 and 2021 have experienced this firsthand. Take your opportunities, whether it's airdrops, IDOs, DeFi, or trading. Now is the time to get stuck in the weeds and get involved, right? This was a great thread. This is a fantastic thread. Let me share this in the community. Please take a look at that. There's some value. There's people like William who have been through like 4 bull markets, right? You should be listening to what William's saying, what he's putting down, right? People like Rayon, incredible researcher, right? Find stuff that I was like, man, how'd you find this? He's always on his computer. He's always researching, right? There are community members that are fantastic about finding information, right? Zybans is great. Mulciber is good, right? Vina is really good about finding stuff. Mead is good. Kingstonian, right? There's so many people in this community that I could go list 100 people that are very good about finding information. Surround yourself with these people. Listen to what they have to say, but do your own research. Listen and build on what they've given you. All right. I had a conversation with somebody in my community that says that doesn't think that the U.S. is going to cut interest rates this year. Okay, the U.S. is 100% going to cut interest rates. We had this long talk in the last few sessions about they have a meeting in March and they have a meeting in May. We thought that they were going to cut in May because it sounded like Jerome Powell, who is the chair, who is the chair of the Fed, didn't have enough information to cut rates yet. And it seemed like May was the month. Inflation came in a little bit hotter than was expected, but the U.S. has to refinance $7.6 trillion, right? If they do that at the current rates, they're going to be paying over $1 trillion in interest. Okay, they're going to have to cut rates this year, no matter what they do. All right, and whether it's May or the meeting after May, it's going to happen. It's going to start coming down, okay? They're trying to get to 2%. We'll see what happens. This was another thing that we were talking about. You know, why is the U.S. pumping more oil than any other country in history? A lot of people don't think that the U.S. is creating oil, right? Or we're out of oil, right? Not listening to the echo chamber that you're surrounded in and actually researching this yourself is a pretty good thing, okay? I'm not going to get into this because it has nothing to do with crypto, but it's just an example of, this person didn't know that the U.S. was creating all of this oil, right? Bigger than any other country in history in any other time. It's pretty insane. But, just do that extra research. All right. Somebody shared this with me in Cryptonairz. I thought this was a unique project. So fixed rate P2P lending. 0% interest, no liquidation loans against BTC or ETH, right? People are taking loans out on their crypto. That's something that people are always going to do. Finding a good opportunity in that, there are some projects that do that pretty well. This one is offering 0%. Currently sitting at a $77 million market cap. I haven't bought into this project. I know this person was pretty bullish on it. We'll have to see. I'll kind of keep tabs on this. I did read through the white paper. It did seem interesting. I was sharing my views and thoughts inside of Cryptonairz on this project the other day when somebody asked me to research it and look into it. I shared all my ideas in Ultra Bull. I'll link that after the chat if you want to take a look at that. And so also share the white paper if this is something that interests you, if you're looking to do this. Let me know. Let me see. I love this community. William, this community is great because of people like you, my friend. Correction, 3 bull runs. I'm sorry. William's only been through 3 bull runs, not 4. I apologize. All right, let's keep it going. Another thing that was shared to me from somebody was this Paul, Paul, P-A-A-L. I don't know how you say it, but excited to announce the integration of custom PAL bot into their vibrant community. Cloudinary offers low-cost decentralized server services, including web hosting, email hosting, and file storage. Their focus is on privacy, enables users to make anonymous payments using cryptocurrencies for secure, confidential transactions. We do know that AI is hot, DeepIn is hot, right? And so this project currently is sitting at $1.4 million market cap. Maybe an opportunity. I shared this in Ultra Bull with you, okay? So let's talk about this. We're shifting gears a little bit here. I brought this up to you weeks ago. And Avalanche Foundation eligibility criteria framework for community coins. Avalanche themselves is going to be investing into community coins, okay? Meme coins, right? And they have some criterias of what they can invest in down here. I have it on good authority that AVAX is talking with this project, okay? No chill, okay? It has 2,400 holders. It fits all the criteria. I went into DEX tools. I did the search. I used all the criteria. Let me go here. Let me show you this really quickly so I can do this with you. Custom filters. AVAX, you need to have 200,000 liquidity, 100,000 trading volume, $1 million market cap. Okay, let me show you this. Liquidity, 200,000, right? $1 million market cap, and daily trading volume, $1 million. Okay, fits those criteria, and it has over 2,000 unique holders, and less than 60% of the supply is owned by whales. Okay, this project fits all the criteria, and I have it on good authority that AVAX is looking at investing into this project or putting some money into it. The dollar amount, I don't know, but I'll share with you my thoughts. If AVAX puts money into any community project, that will create FOMO from everyone else, because they're like, wow, AVAX is actually investing in this project. It must have something unique. It must have something special. I put a few $1,000 into this morning after that news was shared with me. Of course, I did some due diligence and asked them. They told me not to share their name, but they have it on good authority that AVAX is looking to do that. AVAX has asked them to change a few things on their website, and the project is making those changes. That is the information that I have, so I'm sharing it with you. Okay, $3.1 million market cap. I shared this in Ultra Bull earlier on today, and I'll share this with you. Obviously, there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees in anything in crypto, but the person that did share this information with me is a very reliable person, so we'll have to see. Vina says, have you guys looked into Colony on AVAX? Why don't you link it, Vina, and I will bring it up on the screen and we can talk about it. Someone's saying, I jumped into Ben QI, made a nice lick. Is that lick? Man, I don't know. Let me see if there's anything else in here. Can you put a pin in that, Sensei? Just want to see if there's any other questions. Are you holding 80% of your portfolio as dry powder this time? Oh, that's talking about JP. All right, so let me pull this up. Vina, what do you like about this project? Share with us some information. And this is what great about this community, right? Everyone's kind of looking somewhere else, right? You all have all this information being shared. What do you like about this, Vina? Tell us. Did you get a chance to check out more Lens? We just went over Lens. We just briefly talked about Lens. Salking. West Coast guy doesn't know about a lick. Yeah, making a lick. No. Hitting a lick. You guys are... All right, I'll wait for Vina to let us know about that. But anyways, this is, 2,000 followers. I'm just hoping that AVAX invests in this, because that will definitely help. There's your 2,600 holders. It fits the criteria that AVAX is looking for, and supposedly AVAX is talking to this project. So we'll see what happens. I'd love to come back and tell you that this thing's now a $30 million market cap. I made 40 grand. We'll call it a day. This is somebody I follow for airdrops. Tracer, DeFi Tracer. This person is kind of laying out. We're going to do a chat on Monday. I have to put it on the calendar, Cryptonairz, where I am going to take you through how to do activities for a few airdrops. Okay, we've done this chat before. We did a chat for like really beginners on how to kind of get wallets set up and do this stuff for airdrops. But I'll share this link with you in Cryptonairz, and if you guys want to take a look at that. AVAX Labs, I think, is buying no chill, not just investing. Yeah, Leo, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about them buying the token. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You're talking about them actually investing in the project itself? Break that down for us. SHX, I hope you guys listen to me. Like, I was bringing this up for weeks, right? I was bringing this up for weeks. I told you that I was buying. I mean, just look in the last 7 days. This thing was on a monster tear, right? I was telling you that I was seeing a rise and uptick in conversation on Twitter. I'm on Twitter hours a day. I'm looking at what people that have good followings are posting. And, going back a month, right? 2/7/2024, right? This was 8 days ago. This was sitting at 0.0038 or let's just call it 0.004. This thing went up to almost 1.5, right? 1.5 cents. This is like, if you, I did take some profits right around here, and I should kind of buy in a little bit more, but now that it's kind of down a little bit, but I knew that this FOMO was insane. I took a little bit of profit, but I made a few $1,000 really quickly just buying this. This is 8 days. Several $1,000s I made in just 8 days. We were also talking about this like we were talking about this back in like way back here in 2023. I was bringing it up at like $4 or $5 million market cap. Very few people bought, because not a lot was happening, but insane gains if you're paying attention in the community. It was posted in trades, posted in Ultra Bull. I was also talking about it in every Sensei chat. So it was hard for you to miss, but I hope you rode that up. UK economy falls into recession, adding to Sunak's election challenge. Let me just play this for you because a minute 15, It's good information here. We need to take a look at what's happening globally. I definitely pay attention to what's happening in China. I pay attention to what's happening in the UK, the US, very important, Canada.
Britain's economy fell into a recession in the second half of last year. Official data released Thursday showed gross domestic product contracted by a worse than expected 0.3% in the 3 months to December. That follows another decline over the period between July and September of 0.1%. Britain's Office for National Statistics said the Q4 falling GDP was the biggest since the first quarter of 2021 in the depths of the health crisis. It further indicated manufacturing, construction and wholesale sectors were the largest contributors to the decrease. The country's economy has stagnated for nearly 2 years, though the Bank of England expects it to pick up slightly in 2024. Thursday's data was not good news for Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who has promised to boost growth ahead of an election expected this year. Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt said there were signs the British economy is turning a corner. He also argued authorities must stick to the plan of cutting taxes on work and business to build a stronger economy. Media reports said Hunt aims to cut billions of pounds from public spending plans. He wants this to fund pre-election tax cuts in his March 6th budget.
All right, so, UK is going through something right now, right? I do think the US is going to be going through something soon too, right? We look at banks failing in the US still. I think more banks are going to fail. I don't think the US government is going to bail out every bank. You still have huge losses in banks from, buying when COVID happened and you had all of this trillions and trillions of dollars printed and pushed into the economy, right? People deposited that money into a bank. Banks don't keep that much cash on hand, so they go out and they buy bonds. When they bought all these bonds, the interest rates were very low and the return on those bonds were very low. Some banks put these into like 10-year bonds at a very low rate. When interest rates spiked, those bonds became less valuable. You're talking billions and billions of dollars in losses from banks from just this reason. You're also, most community banks, right? Smaller banks own, most of these banks invest in, shopping centers, businesses. 70% of loans come from these smaller banks. And a lot of this property is upside down, okay? And people can't refinance a lot of this stuff. There's actually buildings here in Honolulu that were business centers that were empty and they redid them and made them apartments. And I think a lot of buildings will become apartments because of there's just not as much use for business now that people realize that they can work from home. Obviously, some businesses want you to come in, but it is cheaper when you don't have all of this overhead for a business that you can do a lot of this stuff from home. So banks are hit with like a double whammy, right? And I don't think all of that stuff has worked itself through the system. And so I still believe that the U.S. is going to head into some tough roads after the election. I think they're going to print money, and I think they're going to prop up the economy as long as they can. But you're already seeing massive layoffs at a lot of businesses, and we talked about that a few chats ago. I wanted to bring this up. Cody V2, unveiling Cody V2 for the first privacy-centric Ethereum Layer 2. Excuse me. 2024 Cody Network V2 will revolutionize Ethereum's ecosystem by introducing much-needed privacy features, fostering a secure environment for sensitive information, unlocking a myriad of new applications in finance, healthcare, and beyond. It does look like with all this stuff, introducing Privacy Layer 2, use of global circuits for enhanced privacy, comprehensive 2024 roadmap and major release, privacy beyond payments, addressing the increasing need for secure data management, scalable, secure EVM-compatible infrastructure, potential use cases to unlock Cody V2, Cody token migration and utility, foundation for future Web3 development. I do think it's a great time to get into a project like this. As you can see, it just crossed some resistance level. It could be on its way up. So put that on your things to research today if you're interested. Few have things happening around the ecosystem. AI stocks are still hot. Mentions of AI on earnings calls are down sharply. In Q1 2024 thus far, there have been about 200 mentions of AI on earnings calls. This is down from 750 mentions in Q3 2023, right? But the AI narrative is still very hot. It's going to be a good time for AI cryptos. We've talked about that at length. We did go through like 10 or 15 AI projects recently. In I think last chat we did that. Inflation data lower than expected by stocks. The Fed is going to cut rates. Inflation data as expected by stocks. The Fed is going to track for a soft landing. Inflation data higher than expected by stocks. The technology sector is all we need. The trend is your friend. So it's still going kind of hot. January PPI inflation hits 0.9. Above expectations. So they were expecting inflation to fall a little bit. It rose a little bit. This is why I was talking about Jerome Powell is probably not going to lower rates in May. There was like a 60 or 70% chance of it, being lowered in May. Now it's down to like 20. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. Core PPI inflation jumped to 2%. Above expectations, at 1.6%. Both CPI and PPI inflation have come in above expectations in January. So we'll have to see how this plays out. I'll keep you updated. We talked about this, I don't know, a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. This is actually happening now. Aether Games shared this. The gates are open. Join the waitlist on PokerStarter for a much anticipated Aether Games IDO. I know some people are bullish on this. I'm going to share this. If you missed this information, let me go ahead and share that with you. All right. We got into this, right? We did this. Launch of Tarochi Autonomous World saw thousands of players coming all at once. I need to go play, but check this out. Some people that spent $25 on an NFT or $20 an NFT now just made massive profits, right? This is what, a 30x on your investment just by paying attention in Ultra Bull, coming to a chat, listening, right? I didn't get so lucky and get a king, but I got some decent NFTs that people have already offered me 2 or 3x what I paid for my NFT. Okay, I'm just gonna hold on to these for now, but I think this is going to be a big deal. I hope this is one of you that made a huge return on this. If you haven't gone and checked your wallet, those Genesis NFTs are in your wallet. They're probably in the hidden section. So go ahead and take a look at those. You might have something really nice in there. So just remember that, we did get into this, and it's good to see that people made some money. This tweet was put out by Neo Tokyo. There's a lot of really good information just from this visual. If you're looking for gaming ecosystems to get into or invest in, this pause your screen, take a photo of this. We've talked about most of this stuff in chats in the community. There's a few things on here that maybe we haven't brought up, but there's definitely value in a lot of these ecosystems that Immutable, Merit Circle. I mean, we actually invested in Merit Circle when Merit Circle launched back in the last bull market. Now it's Beam. Imposters made some money on that. Nakamoto Games, I think that was William or QNT that posted that at like 30 or 40 cents. Great job there. Of course, Playable Games, if you bought nodes when I bought nodes way back when, you've already made your money back in that. There's a few really cool things here. There's also platforms and software as a service. There's NFTs and alpha investments. So a cool way or a good way to find new projects is to follow things like this, or to follow venture capitalists, right? They put their portfolios or what they're investing in. Sometimes you can find early alpha by following, Coinbase Ventures or Binance or what they're putting money into. Those are usually good opportunities for you. Okay. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on around DPIN, Roll World Assets, DE, SCI, and AI. Here's a list of just a ton of different projects, right? A lot of this stuff we have talked about at length. So I'm not going to go through each one of these projects. I will go ahead and link this tweet down below. And there's a lot of opportunity here, guys. A lot of opportunity if you're just now kind of getting into crypto and you want some good information to follow. Check this tweet out. There's going to be a lot of great stuff for you here. Okay. Somebody asked me a question earlier today. They asked me, I shared this with you a few weeks ago. And they asked me, how do I find decentralized exchanges, NFT platforms, meme coins? How do I find them early? Okay. DeFi Llama is a great way to find stuff early. And what I mean by that is when you have new ecosystems that are launching, new layer ones, or layer twos, you can go into DeFi Llama, and this is going to tell you right? These are DEXs. This is lending. Here's options trading, right? Here's SoFi. And as these ecosystems get built out, the projects are here, and you can actually see which projects are performing the best, right? You can see Starkport here has been on a nice little run, 1 month, right? 7 days, up 71%. You can just go into DeFi Llama and search, right? You can search any, pretty much, here, let's go more here. There's Manta here. But as new ecosystems get built out, like Barachain's coming up, and there's a few other things, right? ZK Sync, you can just click here, and you can find all of that information that you're asking me about right here at your fingertips, right? Very simple, easy tip. You can come in here and search your heart out, right? Remember to do your due diligence. Remember to research everything before you buy into something. Have a plan. Let me share that with you. All right. Dear validators, we have identified the issue. Not helpful. Not helpful for the chat. Yeah, Prism Airdrop, I think, is kind of coming to its last days here, guys. I've been sharing this a lot. Let me just bring this up here. There are some things that you can do for this airdrop. It's Alpha Sensei. Check in Alpha Sensei. The easiest thing to do, if you don't want to go through all the steps to do this airdrop, is to stake on the validator, right? You can go and do this. I shared this with you, I think, last week or the week before. It's very, very simple, right? And I'll post the airdrop on how to do it again. But this is going to be launching very soon, and I think there's going to be easy money to be made here. Okay, so I've done the airdrop stuff on 2 wallets. I've staked my Celestia on 2 different wallets. I staked my Atom Cosmos on 2 wallets. I'm ready for the Prism airdrop. So I hope you are too. It's going to be a lot of free value there. You're seeing stuff. I really don't want to spend too much time talking about Gary Gensler, but Gensler won't commit to Ethereum ETF. Says Bitcoin approval was simple. It was simply the most sustainable thing to do after losing in court. Whether he approves it or he gets replaced and somebody else approves it, an Ethereum ETF is coming, right? That is going to explode the Ethereum ecosystem. I'm hoping at the end of the day that they do some research on ETHgate. I think there were some things done there that weren't right, but at the end of the day, my opinion doesn't matter at the grand scheme of things. But you saw Hester Peirce. She did say that they do not want to go through the same process of being sued by somebody or bringing court action to finally approve a Bitcoin ETF. So it does sound like they're going to take the easier road. We'll see. I don't see why an XRP ETF couldn't come eventually. Just know that any ETF that has to be approved goes through the SEC. Obviously, the court cases would need to settle. The rest of what's going on with Ripple and with Brad and them with the SEC, and then the SEC would have to approve that. But you are going to see Solana ETFs and all this other stuff. So that is coming. I wanted to share a little bit. I was putting together a video for YouTube. There's a few things that I wanted to share with you. I really liked this chat here.
Crypto.
I want to play this for you. It's 4 minutes. It is a little bit longer of a clip, but I felt that what this person was saying was impactful. It was powerful. It's why we're here. And I really wanted to kind of end my chat with this. And afterwards, we'll look at some projects together. I'll ask the community if they have anything they want to take a look at and answer some questions. But check this out.
Crypto is our rebellion. It is a rebellion against a system that is unworthy of its authority. It's our rebellion against coercion and servitude. It is our rebellion against the economically ignorant, the endlessly imperious, and the ethically impotent. Crypto is our rebellion against permission. And it is no less than a noble reclamation of dignity and grace as free and sovereign individuals in the service of peaceful civilization. That is why we are here. For the truth is that we don't require permission to build great things from those petty tyrants who build nothing. And this was the very principle on which America was founded. Do we care about society? Yes, of course. Deep in our bones, we care about society. Many of us are here because we see widespread economic injustice in the world and we want to help. We live amid society, we benefit from it, and we owe our efforts toward its improvement. But unlike any politician who mandates compliance with his ideas at the point of a gun, we are here to build peacefully, and we impose on no one. So do not let the status tell you that you do not care about rules or society. For you are building a superior technology for rules within society. And it is they, the politicians, the regulators, the leeching, plundering class of Washington, D.C., who should be praising your fine work in the realm of order and rulemaking. Compared to what we are building, they are the agents of chaos. They are the people printing billions of dollars and then pretending not to know where inflation comes from. For them to claim the moral or intellectual high ground in any matter of economics is absurd. They could at least have the decency to get out of the way. To be sure, our enemies are numerous. There are many who find the idea of open, permissionless finance to be abhorrent, for they're used to controlling things that they haven't built, and now finally they can't. And for the rest of us, for those radicals who don't impose their opinions upon millions of innocent people by force, how optimistic we can be, how bright the light of opportunity shines for everyone who has discovered this permissionless Promethean fire, how much brilliant creative energy is captured in this single room. Yes, we endure seemingly endless setbacks and struggle. Yes, scammers abound. Yes, we are condemned by the system that we aim to replace. Some of us endure persecution, and all of us periodically pain. But friends, try to see through those struggles. Be grateful for every noble challenge that you face in your work, for you are alive and your work is important. Be grateful for this opportunity in front of you, wild and romantic. These words still define the heart of crypto. And in a world of bureaucratic, soul-crushing absurdity, where society seems to be eating itself, grinding to dust all those who dare stand as individuals against an arcane apparatus, this wild and romantic heart of crypto still beats block by block with unrelenting ambition. Stand tall and remember that you are neither slave nor serf. In America, the common man is the noble. So act like it. Be men and women of vitality, integrity, and of proud disposition. Be the pioneering industrialist and reflect the nobility of that role. Build with intention and see through every form of lowly interference, especially if it comes wearing flags and demanding tribute. Any regulator can submit a pull request. That they don't is telling.
All right, I just that was good. That was good. Anybody have anything they want to share? I'm starting a well. All right. Anyone have anything else they want to share? We are Trebos. I thought that was a powerful way to end the chat here today. I know that there is a TA class coming up. I think Nathan and maybe Kike are going to be running that. I'm going to go to that. That seems pretty cool. I hope you guys have a good weekend. I'm going to take a little time off this weekend. I worked last weekend and I'm a little tired, so I'm going to take a little time. Can we talk about GSI nodes? Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to stop streaming and we can talk about GSI nodes. I'm just going to turn off YouTube real quick. Thank you, YouTube, for watching. I appreciate you. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking to the community. If you want to join the conversation in Cryptonairz, there's a link for a 7-day free trial, or just join for free. There are some free channels that you can get access to. Obviously, all of the members are going to be behind a paywall and all of that research that I was talking to you about. So please join. There's links down in the description on YouTube to do that. All right, so let's talk about